So welcome to Digging into History. I am Christine Pitsley. I am the Special Projects Director at the Museum of Connecticut History and the Program Director for Digging into History, which is an experiential international education program for Connecticut high school students and French high school students from a little area of France that's really important to Connecticut history, who are doing an archaeological excavation of one of Rochambeau's French army camps from the American Revolution. So this is our last day out here on the dig site, and we're just super excited to be here and learning about the help that the French gave us during the American Revolution. I'm really excited to have French students helping us learn that history. We haven't found a ton this morning. We got rained out last week. So the units were full of mud, so we had a lot of fun on Monday making mud pies and playing in the muck. The kids have gotten to experience digging and sifting, and we spent a day up at Yukon cataloging artifacts, and yesterday we got to go to the Mashantucket Pequot Museum, visit there and see their archaeology lab and see what happens to everything that's found in a dig afterwards. So it's been a really great experience for them, and it's a program that I love. It was born in 2018 in a tiny little village called Seicheprey, France. There's 120 people there, and it was the site of the first German offensive against American troops during World War I. And those troops were all American or Connecticut men from the 102nd Infantry. They fought and died in these trenches, and in 2019 we brought 15 high school students over there to restore these World War I trenches. And the kids got to learn about Connecticut men on the French war front. This year it was nice to be able to flip the script and look at French soldiers on the Connecticut landscape. 9 of our students are actually veterans of the 2019 program, which has been fantastic, that this program has meant that much to them that they've wanted to come back. And Bolton has been amazing. We had a community picnic at the Bolton Congregational Church on Friday night, and it was just an old-fashioned American picnic with hot dogs and hamburgers and barbecue chicken and all the fixings. The kids had an amazing time, and we were able to also celebrate La Fête Nationale, which is Bastille Day, the French national holiday, with a crepe bar with some of the favorite toppings. So that was really special for us to be able to do for our French friends. This is a program so near and dear to my heart because I have watched these kids grow over the last 10 days, grow into a family. I've watched them come out of their shells and become these amazing young men and women, and it is an absolute privilege to be able to do this and to give these kids the opportunity, because there's a lot of opportunities for kids to go to math or science camps or sport camps, but when it comes to history related things, there's not a lot, especially for this age group. So to be able to offer this to them has been the honor of a lifetime.
My name is Joe. I am from Durham, and I am a returning 2019 student who did the World War I trench restoration in Seicheprey, France, and I have returned to help guide and mentor the high school students that are doing the archaeological excavation here at the Bolton Heritage Farm. And what the program means to me is it just helps keep history alive and give people a better understanding of it so they can learn from it. And giving these high schoolers an opportunity to better understand this is very important, because the stuff we do here, it gives them an experience that you cannot get from a textbook or in a classroom. This is all hands-on. You don't really get this from a field trip. And then it gives them to do what I did, come back and help more people learn, and just rinse and repeat the cycle. Just a wonderful process of getting people involved and learning from our experiences.
Hi, I'm Sarah Sportman. I'm the Connecticut State Archaeologist, and I'm working with the Digging into History program here to oversee the archaeological investigation here at Camp Number 5 on the Rochambeau route across Connecticut. We're working with the Connecticut and French high school students on this project to learn more about the lives of the French soldiers who lived in this camp as they made their way across Connecticut into New York to meet up with General Washington's forces and fight the Battle of Yorktown. So I've been working with Christine Pitsley and other folks from the Digging into History program to identify a location that would have historical significance to both the American and the French students, so that they could explore a shared aspect of their history together through archaeology. The archaeological aspect of this gives a really personal and kind of visceral connection to the past. It's very tangible when you can actually touch something that somebody used or held, almost 250 years ago, and also to be the first person to have touched it, in that amount of time as it's laid in this field. So we started out the project by doing ground penetrating radar and metal detector surveys of the property. We already knew that the camp had stayed here from research that's been done in the past, and we identified a number of metal military objects like buttons, musket balls, melted lead, and things of that nature, and combined that with the data from the ground penetrating radar survey to identify a location that might be interesting for an excavation, in the hopes of finding additional material that the soldiers used to learn more about what their experience was here in the camp.
Hi, my name's Bhavni, and I'm part of the Digging into History program here in Bolton. And this program has been pretty much everything to me these past couple of weeks. It's been absolutely incredible just getting to be hands-on at this incredible dig site and just seeing things that I've learned in textbooks and in my history classes in real life. It's truly been such an eye-opening experience, especially being with our French counterparts and seeing how our histories intertwine has been so meaningful to me, and I think it's been meaningful to everyone here to see such an important alliance come to life in such a big way.
Hi, I'm Tain. I come from France. I'm here for discover new horizon and digging in the history. I like this program, but yeah, the good entourage.
Good group.
Yeah, good groups. I like my groups. I like Christine. I like the chaperone. I like this program. Thank you.
I'm Michaela, or Mika for short. I'm from Manchester, here in Connecticut, and I really love this program. I'm very happy with the hands-on learning we've been doing, and we adapted really well because we had some rainy days, but then we got to see the labs that they work in after they dig up artifacts here, and see behind the scenes a little bit. Really a happy accident, and I love how everything adapted and we were able to learn so much. I also love the people. Y'all are great. So.
Hi, my name is Leah Glazer. I'm a professor of history at Central Connecticut State University, where I coordinate the public history program. Our public history program is both undergrad and graduate, and we have lots of community partners, including the State Library and Museum. And so we are really excited to host these French and American students for this incredible opportunity of public archaeology. So it fits right in, and we are thrilled to provide the resources that make them comfortable in between their work here. We are looking forward to continuing this program beyond these 2 years. It is an incredible way to get young people interested in history. We know how important history is these days. There's a lot of pressure to go into other areas like STEM, but we know that the cultural history and understanding where we all come from and having a sense of place in Connecticut is incredibly important, both politically, economically, and socially. So that's what we're all about, and this program really meets a lot of those needs. What makes this incredibly relevant and exciting for now is that, as some of you may or may not know, the 250th anniversary of our country and our nation is coming up. The state's going to do a lot of celebrations. There's going to be a symposium at Central in the spring, and this activity with the Washington Rochambeau Trail is right on point, and one of the first activities to kick off this statewide celebration of the 250th birthday of our country in Connecticut.
I'm Mary Claire Pantano. I'm from Madison, and I'm a part of Digging into History for the first time. This program has been really incredible. I came in being really excited to see how it was going to change me, and I think that what it's really changed is it's shown me a lot about creating international relationships, and I'm really interested in international relations, and so it's just been so incredible to bond with people from different places in the world. And even though we're staying right near my hometown, I feel like I've learned a lot about a different culture. And also, because of the rain, we ended up going to actually a lot of different archaeological labs. So that was really cool, because in school, all you really do is you take the sources and you try and put them together to create something that says, this is what I'm pretty sure that means. But the real cool part here is that you're actually finding the source, and it's actually giving me a lot of context for when I like do my own research into history, and it's showing me like, okay, so this is how people think this is like how you could come across something like this huge even though it's just like a dirt stain in the soil. Like, you know, that might mean that we found like the main campfire for this camp, and it's just been really incredible to like not only build relationships and practice my French and get to know other people really well, but it's also been incredible for showing me like just the really the other side of research.
Hi, I'm Victor. I'm from Windsor, Connecticut. And for what this program has meant to me, it's a whole new experience with archaeology in itself. We've seen how many people are dedicated to this field and how excited they are for having both French and American students here. It's also helped me learn a lot more about how the importance of Rochambeau and the French involvement in the American Revolution, and also the fact that so many can get into this field and that there's so much enthusiasm for us, for the French, and for everyone else here. It's been a positive environment, and I'm gonna miss every second of it once it's over.
Je m'appelle Cléa.
My name is Cléa.
J'habite en France, à Thiaucourt.
She lives in France.
Pour moi, c'est une expérience incroyable de venir ici.
It's an incredible experience for her to be here.
Car c'est pas souvent qu'on a l'occasion de venir en Amérique. C'est pas souvent qu'on a l'occasion de venir en Amérique.
It's not often that you get the chance to go to America.
On a fait plein de visites. Des visites, des musées.
Oh, we took a lot of trips around the state.
Et on a appris beaucoup avec le chantier sur l'archéologie.
And she's learned a lot about archaeology being here.
Thank you.
I'm Zarek. I come from Groton, Connecticut, and it's been really just great to be here and get to talk with all the French people and make a lot of friends with everyone, and have an experience in archaeology, which is something I've never been able to do before. And I agree with Clea, going around the state, looking at all these sites and cleaning off artifacts at UConn, taking a trip to the state capitol, all that stuff has been really fun, and I'm really happy to have had this experience to come here.
I always like to do the depth and the type of measurement that I'm doing. This is a 20 to 30 centimeters below surface. Below datum we use sometimes, especially if things are really changing in elevation. So you put up like a laser level, and then you measure the depth of everything from that point, that laser level point. These lines over here, these all started at 20, so the top line in each quarter is 20. And then the bottom line is your finishing depth, and I checked, and all of them, except, well, actually both of these corners, because of the stones in them, they basically stayed at 20. So I'm going to leave 20 in those, which will be an indication that there was something there that kept us from getting down to depth. We kind of shovel shaved it and troweled it. We did it by quad. We did a 10 centimeter level, and we used 1/4 inch mesh. So that's the basic start of the paperwork. Now comes the part that people either love or hate, and it's drawing everything. So the first thing I know is my corners are all pretty good at 30, except we got this big piece that's kind of deeper than that, right? We went a little too deep accidentally. It's right on my 50 centimeter line, and that's okay. And it's about 10 centimeters wide. So I'm just gonna go follow it right where it is here, kind of draw it. And I'm gonna put in there excavated to approximately 40 centimeters, right? So now anybody that ever looks at this, or if they see a picture and they go, well, that's not 30 all the way across, knows why and what happened. That's why I say, I said earlier to some people this week, because they went too deep and then they kind of put some dirt over and patted it down. We can always tell. You can see in a picture that that's not the way it's supposed to be. You're better off saying, hey, this is what happened. Sometimes you'll pull a really big rock out, and it'll go down like 10 or 20 centimeters. So you may have a big empty space because you're removing big items from the ground. So now the key is drawing things in. So the first thing I'm going to do is kind of draw these rocks in the corner. So that first rock over there sticks out about 10 centimeters.
We're drawing
it. Goes right to the wall. Starts about 8 centimeters down and goes till it's about 15 centimeters. So again, 10 centimeters, that means this is about 8, this is about 15. And then from there I can sketch it in. To make a key for rocks. Then I'm going to do the second one over here. It's right up against our wall. Goes out about 10. And then we do measurements from this side. Starts at about 8 and goes to about 17. So starting at about 8, going out to about 17. And it's about 10 centimeters wide. And honestly, as much as we're looking at this going, this is just some rocks, I think that they're here for a reason. Honestly, sometimes the pictures don't show as much contrast. Not so much with the rocks, but sometimes the difference between soil colors is very slight, and you might draw it on this paper, and when we take a picture, it won't show up at all. And it can be very important, those slight differences. I see 2 colors in this soil. I don't know if anybody else does. I see this lighter and this darker. So then the question becomes, which color do you think it's more of? Which is the predominant color? The dark one. I would agree with that. So we're going to take our Munsell. So I want to take some of the dark soil. Something like right here. Pretty good, I think. I give it a little pat. I always start in Connecticut on the 10YR page, and then you guys can figure out what color you want. So you're going to compare it to the little. Yep, you got it. So I'm going to read it since I know the variations. No. Now we're going to get the other color.
Oh, that's right.
And it's probably going to be very close. If it's what you did, and again, right, this can be very, very tough because the soil colors a lot of times are going to be the same. So worst case scenario, you go to a color lighter or you make the one you just did a color darker. Because we can see with our eye that one is lighter than the other. All right, now the other thing again,
it's just a rock.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's interesting because we might see
that
looks like it.
And I would say,
That is.
I remember seeing
And the higher they are, the more likely they've been moved by the so I'm gonna more often.
Parce que c'est comme ça aussi, au niveau de l'Empire comme un gros.
The deeper they are,
they already have
the chance is that they've been.
Otherwise,
but that sure does look a little arched.
They just did, so we should be good.
yeah, all right, so we'll do that second.
It's a hay field, so they're like.
Thanks for helping, guys.
So, thank you.
When you don't work 6 weeks it
Le premier, t'en as su bien. Thomas.
long time ago. And you could have a pretty broad view. And then like stuff in here, any of those were the ones that were another one that's going on here. Yeah. So phase one is just doing kind of a walkover. Like you're walking, you're going, oh, that flat terrace by a river could be a place where people might have lived. Oh, there's a cellar hole here, or a stone wall in the middle of the woods. So you're trying to determine where people may have been on the landscape, and if there's evidence of that. Phase two is the test pits that they did here. So you might just come and do a whole line of test pits across this field to try and see if there's archaeological sites. So that's phase two. Phase three is data recovery. That's when you open up the meter squares. Okay. And so then I always write my depth in here and put the units. Phase two is just kind of the test pits. So you take basically those little squares are a random sample all across the landscape. The problem with it is in most cases you'll do those test pits about 15 meters apart. So 15 times 3, 45 feet apart. You could have a whole house that you just go right over and just totally miss, but that's kind of the standard that's being used, and a lot of times it does find pretty important sites there. This is the floor of the unit. Okay? This is called plan view. So plan view is looking down, profiles looking at the side. Okay. Right now, I mean, there is a little bit of profile here. You can see how you start to get this color change right about there. Which we expect to see. We probably don't need to do, the wall's not deep enough and there's not that much intricacy to it yet. But we do want to kind of note these couple bigger stones. So I'm going to do one and then I'll have you draw a couple in if you want to try. So the first thing I do is I measure from, and it doesn't matter, however you feel more comfortable doing it, from the top, from the bottom. I just kind of go where it's shortest. So I want to look down on it as square as I can. It starts around 22, goes to 27. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to go, each block is 10. I'm going to, starts about 22, goes to about 27. So now I got a couple dots for that dimension. And then I'm going to come across and it's about 33 to just under 40. So I'm going to come across again, there's 10, 20, 33, right there, to about 40s. And then I put all my dots together right here. So that's kind of where I can draw, get rid of my other dots. Yep. I'm going to make a key. R is a rock. If you want to draw, I would do this one, that little one I'm not as concerned about, and maybe even this little edge, because that's a bigger piece.
What was the third one?
See how this little edge is coming up?
Oh yeah.
I think that could be a bigger stone. So I would probably do that. So if you want to try, I can help you out if you're interested, and then we'll do the soil colors. Yeah, you could do it.
So these numbers correspond down here, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Top and bottom.
Yeah.
So like to me it seems it's going to be 37.
I like it.
Okay.
Yep. And remember, right on the scale that we're dealing with here,
yeah.
You got a little bit of wiggle room because a couple centimeters difference is not really good. Now sometimes where it's a more complicated one, we'll get out like scientific graph paper and do a much more accurate scale. And you'll be measuring to the centimeter and stuff, but really kind of trying to hit it. Yeah. Yeah. We're measuring from that upper wall, so come down 4 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 41. It's going to be right under here. Although I'm only using those lines just to get my points, right? Because you have to have a north-south orientation and an east-west orientation. And you need 2 points on each one of those lines so you can get that 3-dimension or that shape in.
There's so many cailloux. Caillou is the French word for like a small pebble. So there's a lot of cailloux around.
What are you hoping to find?
It'd be nice to find like a musket ball, let's see, trying to general like soldiery stuff. Maybe like a musket tool or something.
Or some more buttons or something.
It would make nice. Like pipes would be nice to find, like the broken pipe stems or.
Very cool.
Yeah.
You guys having fun? You enjoying yourselves?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's been good.
Just sit there and look at the errata. Yeah. All right, let me get my phone. Okay. I want to show it to you.
Well, yeah, if you take the duff off, it would be 10.